my Twitter timeline, and I thought it was just too good not to share. If you're not following me on Twitter, give me a follow. I usually follow back. I'll link that down below. Like the video, subscribe for more content, share it, become a Patron if you are so inclined, get exclusive access to Patreon only content. Anyways, I came across this video. So Max Blumenthal has been covering these protests happening at the U.S. Capitol in D.C., trying to get Congress to come back and extend this eviction moratorium. When honestly, to me, I feel like some of the people are there in good faith, especially the people that aren't politicians, but I think Blumenthal is right in this case. It just for Representative Adam Schiff, not Shift, representative from California, it just seems like he's there for a photo op. Like, yeah, I was there, I was fighting for these things, doing all this, look at me, taking selfies, when, like, I went back through his timeline, which don't do, it's very, very cringe. Republicans are bad, Russia, we gotta censor social media, not willing to call out Democrats, U.S. imperialism, etc. So he tweeted about the eviction moratorium, being extended for a month back in June. But the next time he talked about it was July 30th. So you had a whole 5 weeks there to do something, say something, and you didn't. And why? But now you're at the Capitol trying to get these, photo op with Jesse Jackson and whoever else was there. Here we go. So that's, he tweeted something June 24th, and then the next time he tweeted anything about it, July 30th, even though he knew, or did he forget that that was expiring? He didn't remember until July 30th? Like, where's this disconnect? And then now you're at the Capitol steps trying to get this photo op with Jesse Jackson, and Max Blumenthal rightly calls out Adam Schiff for his bullshit. We need more journalists like Max Blumenthal who speak truth to power, no matter how uncomfortable.
Representative Schiff, do you think we could reallocate $4 billion from apartheid Israel to free housing for Americans? The $4 billion that you allocate every year?
It needs to be pointed out, the Biden administration just sold $3.4 billion in helicopters to the apartheid state of Israel. $3.4 billion.
To apartheid Israel? Why Jesse Jackson opposes all the wars you support? Representative Schiff, Jesse Jackson opposes all the wars you support.
Can we give him a moment, please?
I mean, he's so full of shit because he can't even engage with what Max Blumenthal is asking him, because he deep down he knows he's like a shitty corporatist, imperialist politician, and deep down that don't feel good.
What about is there any war you have opposed, Representative Schiff? Is there any war you've opposed? Those wars cost a lot that could be spent on housing for...
Well, if he opposed any wars, you probably wouldn't be in Congress.
Can we just give them a moment, please?
This isn't just a matter of different politicians having different solutions.
It's Michael Brooks on the bottom, if you couldn't see that.
To help us reach common goals. It's yet another front in this country's ongoing war against the poor. And what has Adam Schiff done but talk about a new Cold War with Russia, supporting Israel, giving money to...
Blumenthal is just relentless. Like, I love it. He doesn't give a shit, like, how this makes him look. He's, like, willing to speak truth to power and really just hammer at Adam Schiff on how horrible of a politician he is.
Instead of the poor.
I'm here for it.
He stands for everything Martin Luther King was against. And he's here for a phony photo op. This pro-war, right-wing Democrat wants a photo op with Jesse Jackson.
And everything that Blumenthal is saying right now is correct. He is pro-war. He is pro-imperialism. He's pro-corporations. He's pro... It's all the Republicans' fault. Democrats are always on the right side of things. We're not the problem too. It's all the Republicans.
When Jesse Jackson opposes every war that he supported, why did you support the genocide in Yemen? Why do you support the brutal assaults on Palestinians?
Or Syria as well.
Why not? He's a pro-war legislator. This is a public
Look
space.
at this person. Like, what? I just think this is so funny. Like, let Adam Schiff fight his own battles. He's not willing to say anything. Why do you think you need to stick up for him? I find that very, very interesting. Like, really? You want to defend this very powerful pro-war, pro-business, pro-exploitation politician? Like, really? You should be calling him out too, along with Max Blumenthal.
This is something not about.
You don't control this. The people control this.
But they're here with their time.
I don't, but I still want to control you anyways.
They're taking time for us as the
He's
people.
here for a photo op. He gives all our money to war.
Stay on topic, brother.
Yes, he fucking ain't. How could you say he's not there for a photo op? He tweeted about this issue one time between June 24th, when that CDC made that final extension that the eviction moratorium was going to expire July 31st. He didn't say anything between June 24th to July 30th. This is a fucking photo op. He could give two fucking shits about this.
Please stop.
War is part of the topic.
Look, you have the freedom of speech, but this is about something else.
It's all fucking connected. I mean, like Blumenthal was saying, how many houses could have been built, paid for, how much rent and people's mortgages could have been paid if we defunded the fucking military-industrial complex. Like, Jesus Christ, what is back rent right now? I think is, I've heard maybe the figures like 50, 60 billion. That's like a tenth of the fucking budget of the military-industrial complex. I mean, Jesus Christ, yes, it is all fucking connected, you nut job. God damn.
About people's homes.
Yes,
People are going through a crisis right now.
$4 billion on Israel every year instead of free housing for Americans. And 35 trillion dollars. Yes, fucking theology. Adam Schiff doesn't agree. He should be pressured. This is not your.
He should be pressured. I agree. Blumenthal is correct on this.
$4 billion a year to apartheid Israel. We need to put pressure on these people who are giving our money away that should be spent on free housing.
Damn, dude. Like, Blumenthal coming with the absolute fire. I mean, that $4 billion to the apartheid state of Israel, as well as the, $760 billion that the U.S. spends on death and destruction through its military. Okay, is this more? Oh my god. Alright, let's check this out too. This is just gold. It's gold, Jerry.
Is Putin responsible for the eviction crisis? Is Putin responsible?
So he's saying, is Putin responsible for the eviction crisis? Because again, Adam Schiff, another one of these Democrats who is just still glomming onto, that sounds right, onto the whole Russiagate. Russia stole the election. They're interfering. That's why Trump won. So he's asking, like, is this due to Russia? Like, are they causing the eviction crisis?
Vladimir Putin's fault again? Does anyone know where the DNC hard drive is anyway? All you talk about is Putin and Russia raising the military budget that could be spent on housing for Americans. How about Venezuela, which builds free housing for its people? You support sanctions to destroy their housing program for their people.
You probably support sanctions on Cuba as well. Let's see what Blumenthal's next retort is.
Every war. What are you doing here pretending to be on Jesse Jackson's side when Jesse Jackson has stood against all the wars you support? He stood against the war.
Challenger.
You should be challenged from the left. Jesse Jackson stood against the U.S. war on Cuba that you support. The U.S. economic war. Yes.
man. Blumenthal just coming with the fire. I love it. Here's Adam Schiff lining up for a photo op and praying with Jesse Jackson, who has consistently spoken out against the costly and inhumane war Schiff supports. There they are. There's Jesse Jackson. There's Schiff. I'm not sure who that is, but god damn, man. Good on Max though. What do you say? I'm definitely all for speaking truth to power and calling out these fucking horrible politicians to their face like Max Blumenthal did, but most journalists aren't willing to do that because they got to play nice to get access. And you know, Blumenthal, these other imperialist journalists willing to call out the U.S. empire and the politicians who allow it, you know, to continue to perpetuate crimes all over the world. We need more people like Max Blumenthal, who's ready and willing to, and still talking about January 6th and all that stuff. January 6th. The officers are the future. Talking about how could God Pod Save America. Yeah. Of course he goes on that. Delta variant. Republican Party is a shell of its former self. America needs two functional parties. The U.S. only has one functional party, the fucking party for the corporations and for imperialism. What are you talking about? Two functional parties. We have one functional party, and it serves their capitalist masters. Jesus Christ. Oh, just another Democratic fucking party hack. Russiagator. Pro-war, as Blumenthal pointed out. Again, he's not really talking about much of substance, just a lot of like general vague platitudes. If our citizens can't vote, how can our democracy thrive? If people don't have but you're not fighting for any of those fucking things, dude. It's all just performative bullshit. Gee, then of course talking bullshit about fucking the Cuba regime. Of course, they're the authoritarians, even though the United States has the world's largest prison population, and it's actually the U.S. who runs a torture camp on the island of Cuba. Not the Cuban government, the U.S. government, but yes, Cuba is the authoritarian ones, of course. Of course he was going to have that perspective. That was almost a certainty. More shit about the Capitol. I mean, Jesus Christ, move on, dude. More about Trump. January 6th. Nothing. Notice nothing about calling out Democrats for all the fucked up shit they do. I mean, Jesus Christ. Alright, we're the same, but kudos to Max Blumenthal for calling out this corporate pro-war hack to his face, for just being there for the optics. He's not actually really concerned or fighting to keep people in their homes. Just more performative bullshit, and you come to expect that from almost all politicians. Oh, and there's the oven. Hey, gotta go put my pizza in. Like the video, subscribe, share if you're so inclined, dislike it too. That's cool. Become a patron if you're so inclined. Get access to exclusive content. All part of the people. Peace. Much love.